Mr. Speaker, the minority also stood firm in resisting the legislative overreach of the majority. For the records, permit me to reiterate the sentiment I expressed in my opening remarks prior to the vetting of the first batch of the last batch of the deputy ministerial nominees. Quote, in every functioning democracy, fairness in parliamentary practice is not a matter of convenience. It is a constitutional imperative. The legitimacy of representation rests not on the brute force of the numbers, but on the integrity of the processes through which those numbers are interpreted and applied. It is not majoritarian muscle that gives Parliament its soul, but the enduring principles of balance, precedence, and the inclusion of minority voices in decision-making. Parliamentary politics, then, is not merely a numbers game. Yes, numbers matter, but principles matter more. At its core, Parliament is a moral contract, a shared understanding that power must be exercised with restraint, and that electoral victory, no matter how decisive, must never become a license for institutional overreach or unchecked dominance. End quote. Mr. Speaker, the majority caucus in this 9th Parliament has time and again wielded its numerical strength not as a mandate to shape and enrich debate, but we've often seen this as being used as a weapon to impose its will on the House. A clear example in their sudden increasing reliance on certificate of urgency for every bill to railroad legislation, sidestepping due diligence and undermining parliamentary scrutiny, and eroding the oversight role that is so essential to our democracy. We have witnessed on multiple occasions the majority bulldozing its way through decision-making processes with scant regard for consensus or constructive engagement. But democracy is not about majoritarian tyranny. It is about balance, inclusion, and accountability. The dangerous precedents being set by the majority, where power is exercised without restraint, must not be encouraged. We would encourage our colleagues to bear with us, even as we put forward our argument to scrutinize. They must not see it as frustrating them, but they should see it as our bit in enriching parliamentary democracy. Mr. Speaker, government has time and again been compelled to reverse unlawful or ill-conceived actions after the minority raised the alarm. The so-called Doomsday levy, we welcome the suspension, but surprisingly, government used a backdoor to implement it to further burden the people of Ghana. We reiterate that we support any attempt at ensuring reforms at ECG. We do not agree to the imposition of levies and taxes. Within this 6 months alone, government has increased the levies, increased levies and imposed burden on Ghanaians when it comes to electricity consumption. And we know that the people deserve better. We support reforms and would urge government to come forward with reforms rather than imposing taxes. Mr. Speaker, it is very troubling that within this short period, a lot of businessmen are facing crisis because they are being targeted in one way or the other. The minority wonders why. Foreign businesses are doing well, but Ghanaian businesses have become targets of certain state institutions. Mr. Speaker, the recent attack on the WareHouse of McDan is something that we should all condemn. It is not proper for a country to see the unleashing of state security on the private business of a Ghanaian, whereas there is no single foreign business in our country suffering from such attacks from state institutions. This must end. We should encourage our own and support our own. We should build our Ghanaian industry and not subject them to partisan affiliations. It will not help our country. To our friend McDan, I say to you, Poe, you are one example of a Ghanaian businessman who has done so much, created jobs, yet going through this. We pray that the good Lord himself will comfort you in this difficult moment, as well as all those businesses that have become subject to attacks because some people feel they are affiliated to one political party or the other.